Ready to learn some real life English with comprehensible input? Well, good, because today we're going to talk about something that is in pretty much everything, but maybe you don't really think about it. DNA. Let's go. Hey guys, it is your English-speaking friend, Kyle. And today we're going to continue improving our English with comprehensible input. What is comprehensible input? Comprehensible input is when a native speaker, like me, speaks slowly and clearly so that you can understand. And guys, today is just going to be a short video. It's just going to be a short video about something that I'm doing that I wanted to share with you guys. I wanted to share my ideas about this thing, and we're going to learn a little bit together. But it's not going to be a very long video. So guys, I ordered this. This is a DNA kit from a website called Ancestry.com. We're going to talk about DNA in a little bit. But basically, what this does, guys, is it tells you where your ancestors are from. Okay, we're going to learn some interesting vocabulary in this video. So first of all, ancestors. What are ancestors? Well, your ancestors are your father's father, his father, your father's father's father. You get what I'm saying, guys? The people in your family who lived way before you, going way back hundreds and thousands of years. And guys, why this is so interesting to me is because I really don't know anything about my ancestors. And I think that a lot of people, at least here in the US, have that in common. You know, I knew my parents and my grandparents. That's it. I knew one of my great-grandparents, which means my grandparents' parent. So I knew my grandmother, my mom's mom, my grandmother's mother. That is as far back as I ever knew about anybody in my family. So I really wanted to know, where do my people come from? Was there anybody in my family who did something special or cool? And that's what this website does. They help you figure out who are your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, where are they from, what did they do? And you never know, guys. Maybe one of your great-great-grandparents was a king or a queen or a famous musician or somebody who did something cool in history. You never know. But that's what I want to find out. And before we get into what this really does, how it works, I just want to tell you guys my idea that I'm going to do with this. So I'm going to do this test. I'll show you guys what it is, how it works. But what I want to do is get the results from this, figure out where my people are from, and then try to experience a little bit of that culture, because I really feel like here in the US, most people have lost the culture of their ancestors. And what I mean by that is, you know, obviously you could see my skin is light. I'm white. I have blue eyes. And that generally means that my ancestors will be from Europe. I know my grandfather said I have a lot of German ancestry. On my mom's side, I believe there's Scottish and Irish. So I want to find these things out and then try and experience that culture, because growing up here in the US, all I ever knew was American culture. I know nothing about what my grandparents did, what my great-grandparents did, how they lived, what they ate, what they thought and felt. And I want to figure it out, guys. I want to figure it out. So that's my idea. I'm thinking that I'm going to figure out where I'm from, maybe try some of the food from there, and maybe even go there and see, do I feel a connection? Do I feel a connection to my ancestors? Because it almost feels like there's something missing in you when you don't know your history. So I want to figure that out. I want to know more about my family, where my people come from, and our part in history and in the world. Because there has to be more to it than just being here where I live in the state of Indiana. So that's what I want to figure out with this. It's going to be an adventure for me. All right, guys, let's see what is in this DNA kit. Let's open it up and see what's inside. Pull to open. Pull to open. Let's see. Okay, the whole thing pulls out like this, and there's an activation code, so I have to go on the website and activate it. Let's see. Okay. I have no idea what this is, but we're gonna figure it out together. And then there's a little bag here. Okay guys, I think I have to go to the website and activate it. Oh, hold on a second. Here's the instructions inside the box. That's smart. Okay, I'm gonna have to register. Ooh, we're gonna learn some good vocabulary here, guys. So this little tube here, it says spit. Spit in the tube. Fill the tube with saliva to the black wavy line. Fill the tube until your saliva or spit is just above the wavy line. It's easy. All right, guys, let's open this up. Guys, they want me to spit in this and fill it up all the way to here. All right, guys, this is nasty. I'm gonna go spit in this thing. Don't watch me. Okay, guys, I spit in here. I spit. That's some good vocabulary for you. Now it says to replace the funnel. This is a funnel. The cap. This is the cap. Cap is another word for lid. We also could call this a baseball cap. Tighten the cap, and it says shake to release the fluid. Shake for 5 seconds. Okay guys, I shook. You can see that my spit is now blue. I truly apologize if that's disgusting to anybody, but I'm showing you how this works, and apparently they're going to be able to test my DNA from my spit. Okay, now I put this in the collection bag. I don't know what this thing is. Guess we'll leave that in there. But we'll put the tube in the bag, and then I mail this back to them after I activate my account online. And then soon we will figure out what I am, and we will make another video talking about what I actually am. It's pretty cool too, guys, because you just put it back in the box and then just put it right in the mailbox. And they already have this label, so it will get sent to the lab. Lab is short for laboratory, where they will test it. All right, guys, let's learn a little bit about DNA. What even is it? All right, guys, I had to take my hoodie off because I was getting hot. So, what is DNA? What even is it? I was trying to think of a simple way to explain to you guys what DNA is. So I asked the smartest person I know, my son, Connor. Guys, Connor watches so many YouTube videos about science, about the world, about the human body, about outer space. So I just knew that Connor would know how to explain what DNA is in a very simple way. So in a very simple way, Connor told me, and he kind of talked to me like I'm not very smart. He was like, Dad, DNA is the building blocks of all life. It's what we're made up out of. It's what plants are made up out of. It's animals. It's the building blocks of life. So sometimes your kids can tell you some good knowledge. So that's what Connor says. Connor says that DNA is the building blocks of life, and it's what makes us into who we are. Now, I asked ChatGPT also, and what ChatGPT, or artificial intelligence, says about DNA is that DNA is something that is in almost every cell in your body. It is not magic. It is a real molecule, a real chemical structure. And DNA is made up out of chemicals. So guys, there's a whole lot of fancy words that you would need to know to really understand this. You would need to know that DNA is made up of tiny parts called nucleotides, and each nucleotide includes a sugar, a phosphate, and a base. Now guys, don't worry if you're not understanding this, because I've spoken English my whole life and I don't understand all this. And all these nucleotides connect together and make a long chain, which is the famous shape, this, called a double helix. Now everybody's seen this, right? Well, what that is actually called in English is a double helix, and that is the chain of all the nucleotides that come together to make the DNA. Tell me in the comments, guys, are you understanding this? Because I don't think I am. All right, now, inside this DNA chain or double helix, there's smaller sections called genes. And genes are like instructions, they're information, okay? They're like little computer programs. And these genes tell your body how to grow, how to work, and how to make proteins. And the proteins are what actually build your muscles, your bones, your hair, your skin, and everything else. You get half of your DNA from your father and half of your DNA from your mother. And most of our DNA that we have is the same as every other human. 99.9% of the DNA that I have is the same that you who's watching this video right now have. We share 99.9% of the same DNA because we're both human. I think we're both human, right? Are you a human? You better be a human if you're watching this. Now it's that 0.01% of our DNA that is different that makes us different, makes us look different, makes us have different features like eye color, height, skin color, hair color, and things like that. And it's that 0.01% of different DNA that is called genetic variance, which means the differences between people. So how can this DNA test take my spit, look at my DNA, and tell me where my ancestors come from? Sounds really complicated. How can they tell that from my spit? Well, and guys, I'm trying to explain this as simply as possible. Different human groups from around the world have different genetic variants. And for thousands of years, these people lived in certain places with those certain genetic variants, and their certain DNA patterns became common in those regions. For example, in Ireland, people often have red hair. So the DNA company, which in this case is Ancestry.com, they compare your DNA patterns to all the other samples that they've collected from all around the world. And if your patterns are similar to the patterns from the samples that they have from the Middle East, from Ireland, from West Africa, the test can say that your ancestors are likely from this region. So it's basically matching your DNA pattern to a huge database that they have collected over years of people from all over the world in these different regions. Okay, so that's how this test works. Let's learn a couple fun facts about DNA so that not only are we learning English, but we're becoming smarter people. Next time you're at a party and somebody mentions, oh, I took an Ancestry.com test, you can say, that's interesting, but did you know that if you took the DNA from just one cell in your body and stretched it out, it would be 6 feet or 2 meters long, and then you'll be the smartest person at that party. Or you could also share the fact that we learned earlier that you and I share 99.9% of our DNA. And if that's not interesting enough, you could say, okay, perhaps you know that we share, and perhaps is a fancy word to say maybe, guys, just a little note. Perhaps you know that you and I share 99.9% of our DNA, but did you know that you also share 60% of your DNA with a banana? I bet you didn't know that. And perhaps you knew that you shared 60% of your DNA with a banana, but did you know that you share 96% of your DNA with a chimpanzee? And you say, well, I'm nothing like a chimpanzee. How can I share 96% of my DNA with a chimpanzee? Well, you share 85% of your DNA with a mouse. So guys, the fact that you share 99% of your DNA with me, 96% with a chimpanzee, 85% with a mouse, and 60% with a banana doesn't mean that you're a banana. It means that everything is made up of these same chemicals, these same proteins. And it really is that 0.01% of genetic variance that makes us each the special and unique person that we are. And we truly are unique, guys. Even identical twins, okay? Now, a twin is brothers or sisters that were born at the same time. They were carried inside of their mother. Even identical twins. Identical means that they look exactly alike because there's different kinds of twins. Some don't look alike. Even identical twins do not share 100% of DNA. So my friends, you truly are a unique person, and I appreciate you for being unique. So guys, today, be you, be unique, and make the world a better place in a way that only you can. I appreciate you, my friends. Thank you for spending your time with me, and I will see you